The Indian subcontinent breathed a collective sigh of relief as a ceasefire between India and Pakistan came into effect on May 10, 2025. This fragile truce brought a pause to weeks of intense cross-border shelling and the looming threat of a wider conflict. The recent escalation, among the most serious in years, served as a stark reminder of the volatile relationship between these nuclear-armed neighbors. The ceasefire, brokered after intense international pressure, offered a glimmer of hope. The latest round of hostilities was ignited by a devastating terrorist attack in the Indian-administered Kashmir Valley. On April 22, 2025, a suicide bomber targeted a bus carrying pilgrims in the scenic region of Pahalgam. The attack, which claimed the lives of 26 people, mostly tourists, sent shockwaves through India. New Delhi was quick to blame Islamabad for harboring the perpetrators, an accusation vehemently denied by Pakistan. India, determined to deliver a decisive blow to what it perceived as Pakistan-sponsored terrorism, launched a series of airstrikes. As the situation escalated, the international community watched with growing alarm. The ceasefire agreement, though welcomed by all, was not a spontaneous act of reconciliation. It was the culmination of weeks of escalating tensions and a series of events that brought India and Pakistan perilously close to the abyss. April 22, 2025. The Pahalgam attack. A suicide bomber targets a bus carrying pilgrims in Indian-administered Kashmir, killing 26 people and injuring dozens more. India blames Pakistan-based militants for the attack. April 23 to May 6, 2025. War of words and military buildup. A war of words erupts between New Delhi and Islamabad, each accusing the other of sponsoring terrorism. Both countries engage in a massive military buildup along the line of control, raising fears of a wider conflict. May 7, 2025. Operation Sindoor. India launches airstrikes against suspected militant camps in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, claiming to have killed a significant number of terrorists. The ceasefire agreement, announced on May 10, 2025, was deceptively simple. It called for an immediate cessation of hostilities along the line of control. Both sides agreed to halt cross-border firing and withdraw heavy weaponry from forward positions. However, the ink was barely dry on the agreement when accusations of violations began to surface. Both India and Pakistan accused each other of breaching the truce, reporting sporadic gunfire and shelling along the LOC. The ceasefire agreement did not address the underlying issues that have fueled the conflict for decades. The disputed territory of Kashmir remains a major flashpoint, with both India and Pakistan claiming it in its entirety. Despite these challenges, the ceasefire agreement represented a significant diplomatic achievement. It provided a window of opportunity, however small, to pursue a more lasting peace. Section 4. The world reacts. International diplomacy takes center stage. The international community, having watched the situation in South Asia with growing trepidation, breathed a collective sigh of relief at the announcement of the ceasefire. World leaders, who had been engaged in frantic diplomatic efforts to avert a wider conflict, welcomed the truce as a victory for reason and restraint. The United States, which had played a pivotal role in brokering the ceasefire, claimed credit for bringing the two sides to the negotiating table. President Trump, in a televised address, hailed the agreement as a testament to American diplomacy and urged both India and Pakistan to seize the opportunity to resolve their differences peacefully. Turkey, which enjoys close ties with both India and Pakistan, also welcomed the ceasefire and offered to play a mediating role. China, Pakistan's all-weather ally, expressed its support for the ceasefire and urged both sides to exercise restraint. Section 5. Military might, a look at the arsenals of two nuclear powers. The recent conflict, though brief and limited in scope, served as a stark reminder of the military might possessed by both India and Pakistan. Both countries have invested heavily in their armed forces, driven by mutual suspicion and the unresolved Kashmir dispute. India, with its larger economy and defense budget, has been on an arms-buying spree in recent years. It has emerged as one of the world's largest importers of weapons, procuring advanced fighter jets, missiles, and artillery systems from countries like Russia, France, and the United States. Pakistan, though outmatched in conventional military terms, has sought to maintain a credible deterrent through its nuclear arsenal. It possesses a smaller but potent nuclear stockpile, believed to be capable of striking targets across India. Pakistan has also invested heavily in ballistic missiles and cruise missiles which could be used to deliver nuclear warheads. The international community has repeatedly called on both India and Pakistan to engage in dialogue on nuclear confidence-building measures and to sign the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. Section 6. Voices from the Ground, Public Sentiment and Civilian Impact. While the halls of power reverberated with talk of war and peace, it was the ordinary citizens living along the line of control who bore the brunt of the recent hostilities. Their lives were upended as cross-border shelling forced them to flee their homes and seek refuge in underground bunkers. In Pakistan, the ceasefire was met with a mix of relief and resentment. While many welcomed the cessation of hostilities and the prospect of a return to normalcy, others expressed anger at what they perceived as India's aggression. Across the border in India, public sentiment was largely supportive of the government's actions. The Pahalgam attack had inflamed passions, and there was a widespread belief that Pakistan needed to be taught a lesson. The conflict also highlighted the devastating impact of misinformation and fake news, particularly on social media. Section 7. An Uncertain Future, The Long Road to Lasting Peace. The ceasefire agreement, while a welcome development, represents just a tentative step towards a more durable peace between India and Pakistan. The underlying issues that have plagued the relationship for decades, the Kashmir dispute, cross-border terrorism, and mutual mistrust, remain unresolved. The immediate priority is to consolidate the ceasefire and prevent further violations. This will require both sides to exercise restraint, tone down the rhetoric, and engage in dialogue through diplomatic channels. In the longer term, a lasting solution to the Kashmir dispute is essential for ensuring peace in the region. Addressing the issue of cross-border terrorism is another crucial step towards building trust. The international community must remain engaged, providing support for dialogue and confidence-building measures.